Hey guys, how's it going? So, I got a presentation I'm doing on January 17th. That's Sunday. And I think, what is that? Next week? I think it's next week. But, so this is what I'm going to be presenting and demonstrating. And this is called the Conversion Project. A little backstory. The name comes from, see, I do computer repairs all the time. And I work with Windows and I work with software. And there's things where I think things could be a little bit better. And I just don't work with Windows. I also do Mac OS 10 and iOS and Android. And I think, what if we made this a little bit better? So that's where the name comes from. It's Conversion. It used to be called WinSpy for 2 years, I believe it was. This was going to be called WinSpy 4, but it's called Conversion now. And Conversion, that's where the name comes from. So, I'm going to give you a little bit more backstory on the operating system. And that backstory involves the network. You can't really talk about conversion without talking about the network. It's everywhere. And they were actually built together in a way. It was started in about 2007. You gotta remember the time when I wanted to build this. We had MySpace. Websites weren't really good. HTML was really bad at that time. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have Spotify. We didn't have any of that. We had MySpace, and that's really the only thing really people cared about back then was MySpace. And I thought, what could we make this better? You know, websites better, the HTML better. So it went on for it. What it feels like it's been at least almost 9 years now, almost 9 years, and we had AIM, which was AOL's Messenger at the time, and then we got Xfire. But you know, that stuff wasn't really available. You know, when I was a kid, it was like the whole parental thing. It was back then. Now everyone has one. You know. So I built something. I wanted to build something that everyone could use, but no one had to really download it. And websites, computers weren't fast enough to be servers back then. They had the option to do it, but then it was removed in like Windows XP, maybe 2000. But I know Windows 98 had it, but that's basically how that all went. And the network evolved from time to time. When it started, it was a SMS where you could actually use your phone and message it, and then it would go to a server, and then that I didn't own, and it just went through everywhere. It's like what those bands, you see them in bands now, where you be at a concert and they say, put your phone number and do that for a giveaway, something like that. And that's pretty much what it was at the time. Because I didn't know that until much later. But then it went to Mac OS 10 mail. We had it where my Minecraft server is running, and I was able to control my server through Mac OS 10 mail because of the scripting, and I could do that from my phone. So it was kind of pretty cool at that time. But I just thought maybe we could do something better, you know. And then I created this web store just controlled by email. So it was kind of unique at the time. But it got bad because someone replied one time. It was a customer service thing, and they sent me a message, and it went to them like 5 times. I mean, I was like, oh my god. But it was fine. But then I took a break from it, and then I discovered something. I discovered Windows 98, and that was the thing that made me look further ahead. Now, I'm not saying that what we have now is perfect, but I do believe that it's a step toward the right direction, and there's a lot to play with here. So, But I'm going to talk about the operating system first, and then we'll move on to the network and then some miscellaneous things. So, conversion is made to be very customizable. It did so with Debian, now we're using Arch. And the way we did that is, there's no easy way to do that. So what we did was we took the Raspberry Pi. I was working on Raspberry Pi. Many of you probably know that. It was called the Game Glass. It was a... I was working on an operating system for that. And the Game Glass is a virtual reality device. I have since left the project, but it was a virtual reality device where you could stream games off your computer. It was a good... I mean, I felt it could be better, but I'm no longer part of the project. So, that's how we got the operating system what it does now. But it's all pre-configured, comes on USB stick. It's not an ISO file, so you can't just burn it to a disk and run it. It's not that easy or simple. It's made to run from USB well, not USB sticks. Sort of, kind of. This is running on a 3.0 HP 32 gigabyte PNY USB stick. So, yeah. But yeah, it's made to do some USB stuff, but mainly it just runs on a hard drive. You could clone that disk right there off the USB and it completely goes on your hard drive. So you don't have to worry about that. Anyways, this is the begin menu editor. Begin, and then this is the menu editor. And you can change where all these things are. You know, you can create a new item, put whatever you want. You can delete them, then you can rearrange them, and all that. This is all places. This is network. It's called places, by the way. First time I've ever said that, I believe, on a YouTube video. But you got Skype and XChat. And notice here it says World Wide Web. Yeah, I did that because you got the internet, and I didn't want the World Wide Web to be seen as internet. Not even places is on the internet option. So I kind of wanted to differentiate the difference between the internet and the World Wide Web. I didn't want people to get that confused, because this is I take that very, what is the word? I want to say personally, but it kind of gets to me. But anyways, you got all these options, you got all these programs, administration, so it's simple, and that's all the preferences, that's the settings. So, you know, this is conversion shell. Currently we don't use this for the majority of the time, but you can, it supports Python, so you can add more, like, you know, manage, type file name. If it exists, it would read it. If it doesn't exist, it would create it. So, you know, like we say, dog.py. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Doc, and then it does .py by itself. See, there it goes. And that's the source code for the doc. We don't run the doc right now, but it gives you an idea of how that works. Now you can do pretty much anything with that. But currently we don't use that. We currently trying to move away from that. It's kind of, I want a GUI, but you know. The thing here is the CCL. The CCL is the conversion core logic. That is the name of the Linux kernel that I use. It's customized, but it's not made to lock in people. It's made to let people. That's what this thing is. See, it says built to inspire. It's made to be played with and learned from. And that's kind of what I really wanted to get into. But don't make it where it just sucked, you know, because you know, you can say, well, this one is made. You know, it'd be a cop out if you said you just gave someone a Linux operating system that says learn from this. You know, that's kind of a sorry way of doing things to me. It just, no, you can't do it. You gotta build something with that people can play with. So more about the CCL. When you create this, this is the first time an Linux distro has ever done this, and it's the first time where I actually support third-party kernels in a distro like this. So this creates the CCLM, which stands for Conversion Core Logic Modified, and it goes into your bootloader when you restart after you compile all this. So option 1 says use existing Linux kernel in the conversion kernel folder. That's where it's all stored and you edit from, and it doesn't delete that, so you can always modify it, or you can update it, you know, change it, remove what you added, so you get to play with it. So you don't have to keep doing it over and over, and you don't need internet access to do that. Or you could do download Linux kernel 4.2.5. So we could do number 1, type the password, and now it's loading through there. And see, this is the kernel. I'm not going to go talk much about this, but the kernel, basically, it takes your software and puts you with your hardware. Without a kernel, your operating system would do nothing. You couldn't use your keyboard. You couldn't access the hard drive. You really wouldn't have anything. You couldn't use your mouse. You couldn't use USB sticks. You couldn't use a microphone. You couldn't do networking. You couldn't do Wi-Fi. Which, by the way, this operating system does not support. Well, the kernel, the CCL by default does not support native Wi-Fi. I'm gonna have to get on before I forget. I gotta set that up. I just gotta connect. I already got everything set up, and I already got the password, so it's gonna do that. I just want to do that. So you get a lot of options in here. This is all hardware support. So if something doesn't work on your computer, like your processor, or there's a feature you want, or your microphone doesn't work, your camera doesn't work, go through here and you'll find it. And it's pretty simple to do if you can categorize it. You know, what is it? Well, if you want a device driver, if you want camera, microphone, whatever, you go through here. And, you know, if you want your network, then you go down here, Ethernet driver support, and these are all the Ethernet adapters. And the USB adapters. So you get the idea of it. You get the idea. And you get all these other Wi-Fi. Wireless LAN, that would be built in. That's what that means. But I don't want to really go in all this, you know. But the option's there if you want to learn that stuff, and then now it's compiling it all. And again, this would be called the CCLM after it finished compiling, so it doesn't overwrite your CCL, which is important. Because you don't want to overwrite your CCL, because if you messed up the kernel, you can't build it. So think about that. So it creates an image file like Raspberry Pi, if you're familiar with it. Both the operating system and the kernel are all those files. So, and then it tells you conversion core logic modification complete. Restart and select advanced option for Arch Linux, and select Arch Linux with Linux CCLM. So pretty self-explanatory. Press enter and it's done. Alright, let's talk about the network. So I want to make this a little bit easy, simple for everybody. And I can't show you everything because it's going to mess up what I already have set up. So I can't do it on this computer. But I'm going to show you how to set this up. So it says configure no IP. What is no IP? Well, I'm going to show you. It's going to open Chromium. It says no IP. No IP is a service that gives you domain names. You can get free ones or you can get paid ones. Currently, the one that I use, unitynetwork.sites.net, that's a free one. The difference between free and paid is that free, you have to renew it manually every 30 days. For paid versions, you get a year without having to renew. And they often run discounts. Currently, I believe it's $20 for domain name. So if you want a domain name and self-host it on your computer, it's $20, which isn't a bad deal for 1 year, and you self-host all this. Actually, there's another one. It's the you don't start with that one. It's no IP signup. That's the one you do first. It says, see, read that. It says, allows you to quickly sign up for a free or paid domain name. Self-explanatory. So it goes to sign up. And then configure, you log in, and then you configure it there. However, you don't need to configure it, and I'm going to show you why you don't have to configure it manually anymore. So you create a no IP account. Yeah, $19.95 a year. So you know, it's good. You can instantly create a host name. You get all these choices. A little tip: sign up. Say create my host name later, and then sign up later, where it actually gives you more. Like sites.net, it gives you more options than these. But you can't use the enhanced ones because, of course, they're paid for. But use these. Use the free one, and you know. So when we close,
hi, I'm Brett Domino. A lot of people.
So when you close that, it's gonna set it up. There's a script on here. I'm gonna show you how this works. No IP is actually syncing with your computer after you sign up. So you put your login and your email, your email address into this, and then you put your no IP password. And every 5 minutes, it's going to check whether your network has ever been changed. So if I move my laptop or my desktop to, let's say, a motel network, well, it's going to automatically sync that external IP address of that network and sync it with my computer. The only thing you have to set up that which isn't automatic, is the router. You got to port forward in order to do this, but I'm going to show you how to bypass that if you can't do that. For example, yeah, I'm going to get back to that later. But right here, type this in. You don't have to do this. It automatically runs when your computer restarts, so you don't have to worry about it. Pretty cool. It's all automatic. For those who can't port forward, we have this. We have Hamachi. It's Hamachi support. Login, client. So if you get installed, all this is encrypted, by the way. The whole network is encrypted. It uses SSL. And but you don't have to pay for it, unlike website. Websites, you got to pay for a certification or certificate from VeriSign or McAfee, Komodo. There's a bunch of them in that business, and it's expensive to do it for your website. So, but this is free. Virtually all of this is free, besides the internet service. You might have to pay for that. But if you can't port forward, or you're at McDonald's or Starbucks, and you're on a public Wi-Fi, you can't port forward, all you have to do is run Hamachi. Put in that password, and it's going to start Hamachi for you. Of course, we didn't really do anything with Hamachi. As far as intuitive goes, that's not there yet. I don't know if I'm ever going to do it, because Hamachi, it is working. You do gotta have an account, of course. I really don't know how that actually did that. I don't know what it's doing right now, but just know that Hamachi is there. I'll probably make a video some other time when I update all that. But anyways, talking about the network. This is called the network. No. By the way, that's the other password. That's the master pass. That's the root password. That gives you control of everything. This is called the modified network environment. This is the network environment for Places. How this works is you get a folder in your Places folder. Alright? Drag and drop anything you want here, and it'll be shown on the client computer. So, and this can only be modified and edited by the main master account. So you can't just be your everyday account like so. I can't just open this and go to home, Places, see, because I don't have permission to do that. So you gotta be the master account so you can edit and change things. So if you, and that's kind of like that's really a double standard. Would that be called double standard? It's a double layer security. So you log into another server and they say, here, because you're logged in as Protege, delete all the stuff in the main phone. And I didn't want that to happen. So you gotta be a main account person, main account to modify this. So another thing we gotta have is logs. Logs monitor that port 22. Keep in mind it must be 22. You can change that, and I'll show you how to do that. It's in the begin menu editor. Edit it through properties, through SSHD. Oh wait, yeah, it goes through SSH, so it automatically updates. I forgot about that. So you can change that port to 22, and it's automatically going to use whatever SSH is made to do. And that's in a configuration file. So if you don't want port 22, you want to be a little more secretive, add another layer of security, you can change that port 80, 90, 100, whatever you want. Well, not 80, but, you know. But, you know, whenever someone connects, it always goes, so you don't even have to have this running. It just reads that, but it updates every time someone logs in or disconnects. Or whenever you shut down the server or log back in. So, next thing is, how do you turn this on? Well, the turn on is green, and the turn off, oops, didn't mean to do that. And the turn off is shut down. The turn off is red. So, you know. And it's not going to show your password. It's not going to show your password. So if you don't see it, don't worry about it. So now it's on. And another thing that happens when you do that, when you turn it on, it's going to remember that it's going to stay on. So when you restart your computer, it will automatically turn on when you log in. When you turn on your computer, it's going to log you in automatically, and everything can be accessed. And when you turn it off, it shuts down the Places server, and it remembers that you don't have it turned on. So when you turn it back on, it's going to keep it off. And all you gotta do is turn it back on, and it remembers it, and there you go. And to connect, you go to the Places Manager. Connect, specify, or you could do the update. Before we get to that, I want to show you this. Again, this is the Places Protege password, not the master password. Where is it? Nope, it's the master password. Yeah, it's master password. Alright, so this is the default template. It only runs for 2.7, although the operating system does support Python 3. I don't recommend you using 3. but the option is there if you want to use it. And this is pretty much the GUI. I'm going to show you that when I log in. If you want to test it, just run it. And there you go. That's what it looks like. They're going to see what you see. You know, you can name it. You can change it. Change the size. You know. Save it. Yes. So now it changed the name. So pretty neat. It's easy. That's kind of like how you built the it's like a web browser, but you build the web browser specifically for the server when you host. So I think that's pretty cool. Then you can just do this. See, and we changed the size a little bit. I want to do it. Make him noticeable. See, there you go. That easy. That easy to change all that. Press Ctrl Z if you want to undo it. But yeah, you can place any button wherever you want it. Play with it. Test it out. So you could do 1, and it's going to print 1 works, 2, 3, and these are options you can do. You can add, you know. So there you go. So let's connect to a network. As I said, this is a free account. 22. And then your folder name. By default, it's going to be personal unless you add multiple folders. It supports multiple folders, and you can add multiple. You can connect to the same server under multiple folders if you need it. So you can connect to personal on the server, and then you can connect to another one. Let's say it's games or anything. You know, you can connect to multiple folders on the same server, so you don't have to worry about it. Let's try this. It says connecting to unitynetwork.sites.net. And this is going to be a little bit slow because I am on satellite internet, but over there if you're using in the default places, passwords, places. But if you're using a cable or DSL, all you need is a 2 megabit per second download speed. You don't have to worry about having something fancy or something expensive. Do it at McDonald's, do it at Starbucks, and it will work just fine. You can watch videos, play games, and all that. So now it's loading the Python, the script that's on the other side of the server, which I just showed you. That is the default template that I showed you, but it's running on the other server. This is going to take a while. Now it might seem really slow right now, but when you actually start to play around with it, you see that this is pretty much the standard speed on satellite internet. Because like I said, I am on satellite internet. It would be a lot faster if I wasn't. So you see right here it mounts. Conversion automatically puts all your mounted drives on the desktop. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, it does look a little bit small, but there's over how much information we have on that server. So see, we're accessing the folder on the server. It tells us that there's 49.6 gigabytes on the server. So if we read this, it says 123.5 gigabytes used. A majority of that, about 100 and I'd say about maybe 115 gigabytes worth of that is this network. So everything you see is 115 gigabytes. And it's all in front of us right now. So keep that in mind. And it's open source, so you can freely look at the source code of the server. And here it is. It's 136 lines of code. Well, less than that, but it's about 130 or 120. And it just runs this. Looks simple, right? Looks a lot easier than HTML. And this is real programming. This is teaching you how to do real programming, how to build things from scratch. It's not HTML, where HTML just started statically typed. It's horrible. But you can read this. This is in English. You can understand this if you looked at it. Simple. Of course, you don't have to use Python. You can use C++, which I also support out of the box. You got code blocks programming. You got also Scratch. Idle 2, of course, is for Python 2, and Idle 3 is for Python 3. And then you got code blocks, which is C++ and C. It's C, isn't it? I think it's C too. I use it for C++, but I'm sure you could also do C. So it uses tk-enter, how we pronounce that, tk-enter, tk-enter. I thought it was, usually we call that tk when it's by itself, but that's the GUI that this is running with. So pretty neat. So let's say you can connect like this, connect the host name, so you can connect to, so on and so forth. Pretty self-explanatory. I don't mean that in a rude way. I'm trying not to be rude when I say that. I don't know, it kind of seems a little rude when I say that. But yeah, you get all these options on the left side here. Let's say you want to listen to some music. Hopefully the piracy police won't get us. So it loaded that. Keep in mind, I am on satellite internet. This is where it kind of justifies itself with the speed. Again, on cable internet, this would be a lot faster. Or DSL, one of the two. But I'm on satellite. It kind of moves like a... If you know how satellite moves, it moves like a heartbeat. It doesn't... But here it is. You can hear that with microphone. Hang on a minute. Got someone message me. Alright. So this is Candyland. I don't know if you can hear that through line in. I don't think I have the... I didn't put the drivers in there if you can hear that. But you should be able to hear it through the microphone, maybe. But that is coming off the server. So you can kind of... So you can stream back and forth. I'm going to show you more about that later. So you can see that it doesn't lag. Or, it's not like YouTube where it just lags when you're on that kind of internet speed. It's very stable. It's point A to point B. But again, on cable internet, it'll be a lot faster. We do not downgrade the quality either. We do not downgrade... I don't know if you've heard anything I just said. But it doesn't downgrade the quality either. Hang on, guys. Someone's trying to message me. Anyways, we don't downgrade quality when your computer can't hang on to the... When the network can't handle it, it doesn't downgrade. And there's a reason for that. YouTube, it actually plays it on their servers, and then it sends it to you, and then whenever that loses sync, it doesn't lag. It says problem occurred, or it says video crashed, and all that. So that's how YouTube works. With this, it's a constant communication, and The client does all the work. See, this is not running off the server. That file is on the server, but you're running it locally. When it's in RAM, which is with where it's at right now, you can load it as much as you want. And we also got a playlist here. This is what we got. I love this theme. But see, if you notice that when it loads that first part of that video, when you hear that part or see that part, it doesn't lag. It doesn't have to wait. It just keeps on going. And you can play the, I'm gonna put my phone over there. But you can see how this works. Even on a satellite internet, that's pretty good. You gotta admit, that's pretty good. See how I can move backwards and all that? Man. I don't want to edit this video. I really don't want to edit this video. I don't know if you can hear that going off. I'm just going to put it over there. Alright, so we can do videos, which is number 2. And this is 1080p. Now this is going to lag because I am on satellite internet. You are going to notice some problems. But I'm going to show you how the quality... You get that gray thing, but the video, you'll see it. See, the delay ain't too bad, even on satellite internet. See, now you can hear it. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm on satellite internet right now, and this is self-hosted on that server. I personally like the other video. This one? No, not this one. Gotta put that one on here. We can say, this is the one I want to play. I like this one. It loads in a playlist. Okay, here we go. I like this one better. My favorite one. I'm still here. I'm just messaging somebody. Okay, here we go. So you see how it's not pixelated, but you are getting this gray thing. Again, I am on satellite internet and it is trying to load it. But even for satellite, like I said, for satellite internet self-hosted on another computer this day and age, that ain't bad. That's tolerable. That's minor. Try this in like early 2000 and this would be impossible. And this is 4K video. But it'd be lag free if I didn't have the other problem. I don't know why I get so many critics for this whole project I'm working on. Never made sense to me. Of course. And then we got this one. And these are big files, by the way. We're going into the big files. Like this one. Free. That's a 6-hour video right there. And it'll be like that in 2 seconds on a 2 megabit per second upload speed. Seriously, guys. I mean, I worked on this for a very, very long time. And it's all encrypted. Like I said, it's all encrypted. Free, virtually free. There's really no good day that it works. It's just internet kind of slow. But it ain't bad. See, if this was real, I would be able to just skip back and forth like crazy. I mean, you would think that was on my own computer at that point. And now it's doing something. But you see, it's that satellite. It works like a heartbeat. It's not constant. If you know how satellite works. But yeah, it'd be a lot faster than this. But that's a 1 gigabyte video right there. You know, that's a 1 gigabyte video. Right there. And then I got it supports up to 11 gigabytes. An 11 gigabyte video. Actually over that because I can't find a YouTube video bigger than that. So, but we're gonna do Mega Man. This is a game. Again, it's running locally on my computer. See, look, it already read it. It sees the game. Now it's gonna load it. Load it in the game. You're gonna read it right down here. Right here. There we go. File opened successfully. See, now I can disconnect the internet. I could close this. And it's running in RAM. You could even disconnect your USB stick and it will still work. Or your hard drive. It will still work. So, RAM, it's in RAM. Play it. It's there. Also, when you close this, it automatically shuts down the network. So, it automatically shuts down that server connection right there. So, we could go, let's say we're playing a game. Now, I might actually close that. Because, the reason I say that is because that's running that, I think. Right? No? Maybe? It depends on how I coded it. But there was a way you could prevent that. But you get the idea. See, now it closes. But last but not least, I want to show you what I've really been working on. This next thing is called the Conversion Updater. And this thing is, it's early, but it shows a lot of promise. So the Conversion Updater is the update system for conversion, obviously. And how this works is, it's not your traditional update system. Even for Linux, it's not, I mean, this is not done anywhere. But it uses the same network idea as everything else. It just builds it, you know. It's just awesome. So much things you could do with it, even to do business applications. But now, it's going on the server and it's loading everything in the RAM right now. And it actually speaks to you. Yeah, this is actually going to talk. Because the network tells it to. So you can do anything with this.
Hello Protege, I am showing you a list of available updates now. There will be a slight pause as I copy the files to your computer.
See, now it's copying the files to the computer from the server. Now, in later updates, it's actually going to copy it by itself. It's going to check for what has changed and only update that. So, look at this. It's already mounted.
This is a test of my voice and the update system. Conversion will not be changed due to any personal effects. My script is as followed. Remove the updates that you do not want, and I will leave the versions you have intact. If you decide to go through with an update, I will create a copy of the current version so you can restore it. I do hope you enjoyed my assistance with this matter.
So conversion is actually able to update and copy all the updates. Later version is going to look for what updates need to be synced if you already download them, so you don't have to download them again and overwrite them. You just check what has changed. So this update says these are all the updates. Take these as updates, and it copies it to the conversion update folder. From here, these three from here it copies wherever they need to go. Like this could say, okay, what has changed, what are the updates created, and everything else. And if there's a problem with updating these, and there's another version already available in the backup, in the what you already have, instead of overwriting it, it's actually going to move it into the restore folder of conversion, which is located here. These are where your backups would go for the updates. So it's kind of like an Arch bleeding edge package manager update and system restore put together. So you could just delete these. You could, let's say you just want to delete them. These are on the server. These are all on your local computer. They're copied. So you know, see it's not on the server. So you can copy them from the server to the thing. And then you delete these, what you don't want. And then you press the X. And then it's automatically going to copy everything to where they need to be. It doesn't say here because it doesn't go anywhere. But when you update, it would tell you where those are going, and then it backs up what it's about to overwrite. So it's really great in how the update works, which I've been working on, and I think it's pretty cool in how it all works. I'm going to show you another thing. I use this for business. When we set up for business use, we connect to it. That's another operating system I worked on. Unity, no. This time we're going to go into the CTT folder. Computer Tech Team folder. And it's going to mount and you're going to see it over here. It's going to be called CTT. Hopefully. Maybe. I did that right. Did I do that right? Hopefully I did. I'm going to have to do it manually. Okay, there we go. CTT. Now it's not running anything because the welcome script doesn't work that way for this. So you go here. You go dispatcher or Maven. And it's loading. Coming off the server. It's loading everything at one time. We can go. Okay, now it's there. Now we go into where it's mounted. See, and it's going to be classified underneath the the host name that you use. It could be an IP address as well. So it doesn't have to be a domain name if you don't want one. But it's easy because then you don't have to remember IP addresses and share update of the IP address. It just gets crazy. So just use a domain name in it. Like I said, it automatically syncs to your domain name whenever the IP address changes. So don't have to, it's simple. And it groups them all together in one folder. Alright. Then we're going to run Python and say dispatcher gy.py. And now it's loading again. Like I said, it'd be a lot faster if it wasn't satellite. Alright, and here's the script. Because of it's so slow, these would actually be full. There is a script in there, but because text editors do not like text on a network where it has to wait. They usually crash. This one didn't, but usually they do because they simply are not built to wait for things like that. And then here's the program. Put in your ID, client name. It says if the technician is not in the database, you cannot put that schedule in. And this creates schedules, I mean, this is simple. I mean, you could do this anywhere in the world. And it goes to that computer in 2 seconds. 1 second, really. We've played with it. If you're in we tested it from New Zealand. In New Zealand, it was, I believe it was 5 to 1 second, which I think is about pretty much. If you do that from New Zealand, it's either going to be a little bit less or it's going to be the same. Built on how the network is designed to keep everything together and not have something go faster than something else. Because if you did that, you would obviously have problems. So, see, this isn't going to work. And I'm not going to put it there because I know if someone logged into this, they're going to just spam everything. So, I'm not going to put anything there. Okay, so you get the idea of that. And then those technical guides. See, and those are, I should change these to the PNG format. Because like I said, ODT. Let's see what's going to happen with those. Yes. And it mounts it over here on devices. Another thing is, all this is default. See, it's slow for editing. You can't you can't edit that because it's, again, it's on permissions. Open read only. Alright. So these are the, and then you get that. Alright. So documentation, that's the documentation of conversion. The technical doc takes the specs and all the information about the computer. You have never seen a documentation like that about a computer before. I mean, look at this. Look at all this information right here. Look at the processors it supports. The USB stick. I mean, it got so much information here. Tells you the Ethernet information. I mean, there's so much information here. Then you got the voltage. If you ever get the voltage information about a standard power supply, it's right here. The power, that would be the power supply. I mean, the processor, CPU, 4-pin slot, which is right here. That's as far as I got, and I wrote all that. Max speed is 60 megahertz, 1.6 gigahertz. Motherboard has 2 DDR3 memory slots. It supports up to 16 gigabytes with 8 gigabyte per slot. So, you know, one PCIe 16 channel slot. Pretty cool. And HDMI, one HDMI port with 2560 by 1600 at 60 hertz, 24 bits per pixel. Compatible 4K HDMI cable, record on 4K displays. So that's 4K right there. And it says VGA port and it says maximum resolution. So it tells you all this information. 6 gigabyte per second, 3 gigabyte per second. Wow, it's pretty neat. Although there is one thing missing on the SATA stuff. It's not telling me what. Is that SATA 3? I really don't remember. I thought you can only go up to 3 gigabits per second. Obviously I'm doing 6 gigabits. That's 600 megabits per second. 700, well, to some people that's 750. I think they said 750. But yeah, 6 gigabit per second. Which is what you currently right now, what you just saw is 6 gigabit per second. Or maybe it's 3. I really forgot it had 6 gigabit per second on there. I thought it was 3. Oh well, enough about that. See, this was the plan, and this is the old USB stick I got now. I'm currently using a USB 2.0 slot for that USB 3.0. See? But that no longer applies. It's actually using a 1 terabyte Seagate Barracuda hard drive. But this is big information right here. Tells you everything. And that's what the CCL supports by default. Sound and everything. I haven't finished that technical information. I don't think I ever will. But that's the majority of everything right there. Documentation, this is about the operating system. Again, a lot of information here. It tells you what to use for places. See, these are all the programs you can use for places right now. You can also use Audacity. That's another one you can use if you want to do that. Tells you the hotkeys, you know, that, you know, get the idea. Alt space, which is window menu, Windows key D, Alt tab. So you get the idea. Super E, which is the Windows key. I got that. I gotta change that, guys. Hang on. It's called the super key. Whenever you see super in Linux, they mean the Windows key. And then there's some C++ stuff here. Conversion updates got copied here. This actually does not apply anymore. Oh wait, or does it? I think I kept that there for a reason, so you wouldn't. Although it kind of is outdated now. Yeah, I gotta update this on others. I gotta update that technical information as well. Conversion share again. Hang on, let me update this stuff. Some UEFI information. Alright, what is that? And we kind of went through a what would you do if there was a problem with the motherboard. I mean, this goes in detail about everything. Yeah, you don't need that. So yeah. So yeah, that's conversion. That's pretty much all of it. Some other stuff you don't have to worry about. But that's pretty much it. So if you were interested in all that, or you want to join the project, or if you want to help join the presentation and be on the Skype thing talking about this, well, I'll be more than happy. But you gotta take the tour first. This actually replaces that. So if you watch this, it counts. If you want to learn more about I do recommend that you learn at least Python, at least the basics, to understand all this. But guys, I gotta go. I hope you love this video. I hope. If you're like I said, if you're interested, talk to me, and I'll see what I can do for you to test this out. So I'll see you guys later.